It's a pleasure standing before you. Many people are speaking, and can I say, in every event, and the topic is presented to be discussed. Once 1, 2, 3 have discussed all the discussable, others are to add and echo to what have been discussed. And that is not different from what I am going to say. But for me, before I start, I bring you warmest greeting from the constituency where I represent, which is the farmers in Nigeria. And we have this slogan, great farmers, great nation. No farmer, no nation. But for the fact that we know the role women play in the family, in the nation, we went further to add, no woman, no food on the table. Thank you very much. Respected dignitaries here, and permit me to stand on already established protocol. It is a privilege that I stand before you to deliver this keynote speech on header farmers conflict in Nigeria, but I am to focus on the history evolution of this headers farmers relation in Nigeria, cause, context, and workable solution. You know, most of the times, programs don't fail, policies don't fail, but the people fail the programs, the people fail the policies, and the people fail the projects. Because project can never be executed by itself, but it's being handled by people. And when you didn't handle it the way it's supposed to be handled, the project is bound to fail. Before I go on with my speech, I want to say that both the headers and those we refer as the farmers, we are all farmers. Only that the headers are into animal production, and those we refer as farmers are into crop production. But there must be a workable relationship for the farmers, those we refer as farmers, and those we refer as headers, to cohabit so as to battle and overcome food insecurity in Nigeria. I want to start by the history of evolution. This issue started from the time of immemorial. Before we were colonized, there was this a way lands are being owned. And when the headers moved to a community to rear their cattle, they have a common agreement with those community, because that mindset was there, that this place is owned by these people. And for us to stay here, we must work with them in an amicable way, that it will not affect them, and we achieve. But coming to when we were colonized, the Land Act of 1940 moved the land ownership to the government, and everybody is a government, and everybody claims ownership of land anywhere. Then when we move further to post-colonial masters, we know that environmental degradation also contributes, and population growth, ethnic and religious tension, weak governance, and abandonment of grazing reserve. If the foundation of the people who fought for Nigeria were all followed, most of the crises we are facing today would have been there. But because as we grow, sometimes we adopt more of negativity other than positivity. We talk about the issue of climate change. It is a phenomenon that none of us can be able to battle with. But we must find a way to prevent or avoid or adapt it and work with it for our own profitability. You talk about government responses and other areas that are contributing more on this. If we want to go down history, you will know that in 2014, there was massacre of farmers. 2018, such occurred in Plateau and still occurring today. In 2020, in Ebonyi, we had what happened. Then recently in Benue State, who have been facing it for long, but this year, the country wept for what happened. What can we do to prevent all this? We go by saying, can we promote climate-smart agriculture, where we make the farmers to know that they can benefit from the herders, and the herders also can benefit from the farmers, where the herders take the refuges from the farm produce to feed their cattle in a way that it will not affect the farmers negatively. And the dunks from the cattle will now also help the farmers to produce more. Implementing effective policies. As I earlier stated, policies don't fail, but the people handling the policies, the policy makers, making the policies one thing, but implementation is the challenge we are having in Nigeria. We will have good plan lineup, but working it out is always the challenge. Like now in FCT, we are working on establishing or developing the already established grazing reserve that were abandoned. Because it is seen that in FCT as a state capital, seeing cattle moving around is like a slap. Even in the presidency, you see the cattle entering there. So they must open a grazing reserve, which is for area council of FCT. The committee, which I am one of them, are working on it to know if it will be worked out amicably. We talk about interest-based negotiation and mediation. You know, the crop farmers have their own interest to protect. The animal farmers are also working in protecting their interests. But two can never sleep together unless they agree. And the agreement will be in a way that none will lose, and that will promote peace. Let me rush because I can see them tinkling. I always advocate for farmers' education. Farmers' education is very important. Both the herders, that is the crop farmers, the animal farmers, need reorientation regularly to understand and work the modality for peaceful coexistence. The farmers, the crop farmers are working for their tomorrow. The animal farmers are working for their tomorrow. But the animal farmers should know you are also operating a business, and the crop farmer is also operating a business. None of the business should destroy one another. If you want your cattle to get fat, and I want to produce a crop that I will say I make money, your cattle shouldn't destroy my farm. And my farm or farmers should not rust to cattle. There must a balanced equation. But destruction of farms. I was in Benue State last week for research. I was in Guma local government. And they're telling me that they don't farm cassava and yam any longer. Because you farm it, you stand there to be harvested and fed to the cows. And you cannot do anything. The only thing they do is to avoid farming those ones. So how can we achieve food security in Nigeria? We must bring out a workable ways that the animal farmers will understand that the way they want the animal to live large, so the crop farmers want also to benefit from their farm. And when that policies that we enforce, the evaluators to face the law is implemented and work without fear or favor, we will not achieve our food security. But food security is achievable when we are sincere and truthful to ourselves and stop any activity or method or movement that will promote one and deter one. Thank you, and God bless.